definitely.
People forget this.
Massive impact on men. It's not a women's issue. It's something that actually has a ripple effect, and it actually affects everybody. It has to do with affects grandparents, partners. It actually even affects siblings if you go on to have children. Mm-hmm. They even sense, sometimes that
there's something missing.
Something's missing here.
Yeah.
So he took me to that. Do you want me to tell you about the procedure, or?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, but what I remember about it all is I remember him driving me to the property, and it was like a big sort of, Victorian building, a very sort of flat tree-lined avenue, and I remember this sort of place had a real air of respectability, like this is a respectable, medical establishment. But I remember when I got out of the car and tried to walk towards the door, there was like a candle at vigil, and there was pro-life protesters. And I remember thinking, oh no, there's like these horrible Christians here, and I remember one of them tried to come up, approach me and tried to talk to me, and I remember being really angry and really like pushing her out of the way. I'm like, get away from me, I don't want to talk to you, just get out of my way. And sometimes I look back now and I think about it, and I'll think, I really wonder what it would have been like if I hadn't stopped and talked to her, because now I know what she was trying to do.
Yes.
I brainwashed that I wouldn't I would have listened to anything she had to say, because I made my decision.
Yeah.
But I was going in there, and the consultation of the joke just basically consisted of a woman bringing into this room and saying, do you want an abortion? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, why? And I said, well, because, I just can't have this baby. And that was it. That was the sum total of the counselling. And she went, okay, just sign this paperwork. £2, please. And I remember scribbling the paperwork, and then I remember counting out the money in £20 notes. And I remember, I never forget that money. It's like really dirty blood money to me. It's just really, really disgusting. And then I remember after that, then she told me to go upstairs and put a gown on, and I remember sitting in this kind of waiting room, and it was the most depressing place. Like, it was just basically all these women sitting in a line, in blue gowns with their clothes in a basket, very, very like a production line.
Wow.
Very cold. I remember my boyfriend sort of sitting in a different room, and he was very agitated. He just didn't seem very peaceful at all. And I remember, like, we were all sitting in this room, we all kind of like moved one up. It was like a production line. It was super. And actually, when I look back on it all now, I really realised what a facade it was. It was all a facade. It was all this facade of being, medical care.
Yeah.
It's not care. There was no care. There was no, just
no.
It's not what it pretends to be.
And did you have to go in on your own to the procedure?
Yeah, I remember then when they called me into the theatre. I remember going into this big white room, being very, very frightened, and I remember getting up on the bed, and I really remember them turning the monitor away from me. They don't let you see the monitor, and I know why they do that, because they don't want you to see that baby. Because if you see that baby, you may connect with that baby, it might change your mind.
Yeah.
You have to remember, they're running a business here, and they don't deal, so very impersonal, very cold. And then I had a general anaesthetic.
Okay.
So the next thing I remember then, I just remember a big mask coming over my face. And then the next thing I remember is that I woke up and I was in this different room. And I remember a massive room, and it was filled with beds with women, and they were all crying. Every single woman was wailing and weeping, and just the sound of this weeping, like it haunts me even to this day.
Wow.
The women were just like distraught, beside themselves. And I remember someone brought me some tea and toast, and I actually was kind of okay. I was okay. I had this like initial feeling of great relief.
Yeah.
But very short-lived. And I remember looking out the window and seeing my boyfriend downstairs and outside in his car, and I remember like giving him the thumbs up, like I've come through the other side. Okay, it's all over now. But that initial kind of feeling of elation was very short-lived, and I remember he picked me up, took me home, and I just lay on the sofa for however long I had left before I had to go back to the airport to come back to Ireland. And I remember, as soon as I got back to my flat in Ireland, feeling really, really not good. By the time I got to Ireland, I already started to feel extremely depressed. Like, we're talking like PMT multiplied by like a million. Like, I just started to feel really, really depressed. Very, 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 very. I felt emotionally extremely low. I felt very tired. I felt very heavy. I felt very down. I felt very depressed. And the only way I can describe it is that I felt like something was missing.
Right. Because it was. Because it was.
It had just been sucked out of me, so obviously something was missing. But the thing is that, you're so brainwashed by society, you're so brainwashed that you're just going to have this procedure and you're just going to be fine. And I actually didn't even link the feelings that I had with the abortion. I just thought it was just me. I didn't realise that actually I was feeling like this because of the abortion, like I should have. It's extremely traumatic, like it's so traumatic. And I remember when I got back to Ireland, all I wanted to do was, I just wanted to lie on the sofa and smoke cannabis. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to numb this pain. And then I started really, really drinking really heavily. And then when I was, getting back on with my life, I remember like every weekend just consisted of getting absolutely annihilated on drink and drugs and promiscuity. I started being really, really promiscuous. And the reason why I think, looking back, I'm trying to think, why was I so promiscuous? And I actually think subconsciously that I was trying to get pregnant. I wanted to replace that baby.
Yeah.
And I think this was a really subconscious thing that was driving me, and I wasn't even really aware of it myself. But looking back now, I mean, I went off the rails in terms of promiscuity. I just run right and centre.
So would you say you were traumatised?
I was extremely traumatised, but the thing is, I didn't even know. I remember one night going out to Belfast, I remember going into a bar and there was a woman, as I was walking into the bar, there was a woman walking down the street who was heavily pregnant. And I remember being extremely traumatised around anybody that was pregnant. Like, I started crying uncontrollably, I was shaking, I was sobbing. My friends had to go to the bathroom and they were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't look. I couldn't look at children. I couldn't look at pregnant women." It was just like this reflex reaction. I couldn't look at anything to do with pregnancy. I just couldn't look at.
Yeah. Wow. It's dreadful, isn't it?
Guys, but I know now, because of how the Lord has healed me, I know now that I was very, very traumatized.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's big lies being told by the abortion industry about the effects of an abortion.
Yeah.
And you can testify to that.
Yeah, I've read a lot of articles which actually back up completely my experience, but it really, really angers me when I also then read articles that say that all of that isn't true. As if like women like me who are telling the truth are somehow just lying. I actually have a family member who actually committed suicide a number of years ago. And it actually came out in the autopsy report that she had a couple of abortions in her background. I didn't know about that, but I mean, it just happened the fact to me that women who have abortions are 6 times more likely to take their own life because of the mental health impact.
You don't hear that from Mary Stubbs.
No, you don't.
No.
But I'm here.
Yeah, good.
And the reason why I know it's true is because I went on to have a second abortion. So I was 25 when I had my first one, and then my life just sort of went off the rails quite slowly. So 26, 27, it was going really crazy off the rails, and then I got offered quite a good job in the middle of it all. But I had quite good fortune, and I was offered a really good job abroad. So I went actually to work. I went to Istanbul to work there as a fabric technologist. I worked in fashion and management, and it was a really good job opportunity. And I remember feeling a little bit anxious about going to Turkey because I didn't know anything about Turkey, and I imagined it, to be the way, I don't know, I had this stereotypical image of what Turkey's like. And I was really surprised when I got to Istanbul that actually it was very, very forward culture. It was very multicultural. It was very, very modern. They had, even we had the better nightclubs, better clubs, the better restaurants, the better everything. It was just amazing. I was mixing with some very rich people there, and I was going to the best parties and going to the best nightclubs. I was mixing with models, and I was having